So this latest episode of My Hero Academia, we finally are back on track. We finally, the Olympics was last week, so we had a little bye week, but now we are back and we come back in a big way because Lord knows that they decided to give us not only a lot of action this episode, but they made sure to, upgrade the graphics at different points where it was like, Lord, what is going on here? Like these punches that Deku delivers, you absolutely feel thanks to the backing of the graphics behind and the colorization of things. So, who knew getting punched by a rainbow was actually as bad as it's gonna be? But I digress. Great episode, awesome. But make sure you guys like the video, make sure you guys are subscribed. So yes, here we are. Deku makes it here with the help of the actual flyers that I knew that there was those planes that came from Stars and Stripe when they showed a little teaser like last episode or so, and it's like, oh, okay, those guys. I thought he was going to ride on top of them, but it actually was pretty smart to use them as a slingshot to get there as quickly as possible with Black Whip. So, hey, hats off to Deku. He uses intelligence and just was like, let's just get there as quickly as possible. So he gets there, rocks All For One / Shigaraki. We knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen, that he's going to be like, hey, is everyone okay? Oh, wait. It just looks around and it's like, yeah, not everyone is in a good way. Now, the question is whether or not if he thought everyone had died, like he didn't perceive that everyone was breathing or not. I wouldn't be surprised that, of course, he sees Bakugo over there, and Bakugo has a hole in him, that he pans around and sees the others, and they may not be as quickly responding. So he's thinking like everyone, a majority of people are wiped out. So it doesn't help him as he gets into this state right here. Thanks to Lemillion Cummins is like, hey, chill out. Hey. Everyone's cool. They're breathing. He literally laid it out as like, okay, this is the status. They're not as dead as they may perceive to be. And the only one that really is right now, he's getting some attention and he should be fine. He's going to be fine. We're hoping he'll be fine. I am glad that they added this in because it only makes sense. It only makes sense. Deku's a child. I don't think it's clued in a lot of people that have watched this anime and or have continued to see this. We are laying the hopes and dreams on a child. And of course that, he has all this power in the beginning. Yes, I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's a crybaby and stuff. Yes, I would agree with that, but he has grown over time. He's had to grow over time. And just seeing him in this moment, just like he's ready to pop off. And I like the fact that Shigaraki was even saying like, yes, this is what I wanted, because he's not as smart. When he gets mad, his actions are easily perceptible and easy to actually dodge and or counterattack. So I'm gonna, as he said, like just snap his spine. It's true. A lot of times when you're in a fit of rage, you're not actually thinking clearly, nor can you control your actions as much. So thankfully, with all this power, it just didn't go away in just one fell swoop. And Lemillion was there. It's like, hey, chill out, dude. Here's what's going on. Here's what's cool. Don't worry. We come on. We're heroes. Remember that. We're heroes. We're trying to do the right thing. Probably the best thing that's in him. If you have All Might, which All Might's not dead, so you see like the glimpse power of All Might. So if the power that's inside of Deku is All Might giving him advice internally, then okay, it's done something, because all these other quirks, of course, are adding up to his power, but then you just have All Might's ghost, if you will. Now, granted, we know All Might was quirkless. That's why he's not getting a quirk from All Might, but I digress. Otherwise, great that he recovered, which led to some really, really, really great fight scenes here. Now, I gotta hand it to the introduction of Gearshift here. Has got to be one of the coolest looking quirks and or moves that they've shown in this anime. I thought I was watching One Piece for a second. I was like, oh, we're going to second gear, third gear? Wait a minute, hold up. But, all joking aside, it makes sense because it is called Gearshift, and there is a lot of analogies there to, like, you know, a car shifting, and in essence makes him quicker and or slower if he needs to be. And yeah, the speed that he has here is just crazy. And like I said before, the graphics department did a really good job in showcasing, like, you can see the, like, the trail that Deku is going as it's showing this fight, which I can only surmise definitely looks a way better here than probably in the manga, which the manga probably does, like, show some pencil, you know, etches behind them and such, but here they outdid themselves. It's like, okay, I get, we get the understanding of how fast he's actually going here. It is when he's instantly appearing in different places, and Shigaraki can't even do anything. He's like, I can't defend against this. It's just instantaneously appearing. And of course, Shigaraki's like, okay, maybe I can predict where he's gonna be. And then all of a sudden, Deku's like, low gear. And it's like, well, so much for that. But yes, this ability, this quirk, I would have to say, definitely is a lot better than when I was expecting a whole backstory about the second user, like, you know, how he came up, but they just kind of showed it a little bit. They came a little backstory about how the second user used his own quirk and how it's more powerful now, which is way more powerful. And being able to control objects, small objects, no matter what the object is, which it looked like he was using knives back then in order to increase the speed or lower the speed. Okay, that's one thing. But now that he's able to control the actual item to the cellular level, and that's why he can actually use it on himself, because before it was just small objects. You know what? And you know what's the smallest object? How about a cell? So he's actually using it on himself at the cellular level, which is probably why in the beginning he's like, you only could do this for 5 minutes and then it's over. I'll admit, 5 minutes of just almost going so quickly you're teleporting, that's a lot of time. That's a way lot of time. So yes, just getting rocked for 5 minutes, just zipping around. Seems like plenty of time to me, but you know, we're gonna have our DBZ moment here, as 5 minutes is probably gonna be several more episodes, because it's definitely not gonna be this fight alone that we're gonna see for a very long time. So yeah, this ability, pretty cool as an upgrade. I would be there for All For One and saying like, wait, this ability was really weak in the past. Yeah, if you control just small little objects, and All For One has all these quirks and powers where those small objects he could just like brush away. Yeah, I would probably be thinking the same thing. Like, wait, this isn't what it was before. Wait, how is he able to do it on himself? Well, that's for Deku to know and him to find out, that's for sure. And finally, let's talk about Shigaraki himself. In this fight alone, you start to see that Shigaraki does have that little child in him, and he has been acting more childish as the fight is being prolonged. Because at first, like, even Lemillion's like, yeah, I don't think they're melded together, because when I just said he didn't have friends, he just kind of went off like he was some child just, you know, having a temper tantrum. As the fight is going on, you start to see that more and more, because Deku knocks the living daylights out of him. He had a freaking rainbow into his face, and Shigaraki's like starting to blame everything else. Oh man, if it wasn't for Eraserhead over there, you know, I'll be able to use my quirks. Oh, if it wasn't for them separating us, or I'm in this little coffin in the sky, man, I really would give it to them. Like, well, you're the villain. At first, you know, the past, he was all like, haha, I don't need my quirks. It's just my body alone. I'm able to take you guys down. And then now Deku shows up, and down he's like, well, you're not playing fair. How dare you? It's like, man, you're trying to kill us. What do you think I'm gonna do? Of course, at the end, it was really weird. If you see like when he's being like, I guess, resealed by All For One, which All For One's like, I gotta get some help from somewhere. And then it like pans out to another battle in another area. So unfortunately, it looks like it's gonna move on to maybe the next episode. It's gonna move on to some other battles, which is kind of okay to a degree. Like, we have Endeavor and fighting with All For One, the real body. We have Toga, that we haven't really had too much about that fight. We have Dabi over there, which he's gotten a power up, which they did touch on a little bit, but they, of course, will learn more about that in another few episodes. And now we're going to a new battlefield. So yes, with all these battlefields, they do need to, you know, explain to us, hey, what's going on? What's happening to the villains and heroes in this area and that area? But this is the main fight. And now they just like gave us this full episode of Deku absolutely curb stomping Shigaraki / All For One. Now they're like, hey, let's move on to another battle. It's like, dang it, go back to that one. That's the most important fight. What are you doing? So part of me's okay with it, and then the other part of me's like, I want to see Deku just absolutely just go in there and curb stomp him, but c'est la vie. I mean, it's fine. As long as we're getting battles, as long as we're getting fights, and as long as it's something we can follow along and be like, oh, okay, this is how this being interwoven. Okay, fine. But it's wrong for them to give us, it is literally like if you get a full course meal and instead of the appetizers and stuff to eat up to it, they were like, well, here's the dessert, and we're going to reverse order. Here's the dessert, here's the meal, and then we're going to end it up with the appetizer. It's like, why'd you show us this Shigaraki and Deku fight now if we have all these other smaller fights to do? Come on, man, that's wrong. But hey, that just gets us more captivated to watch more episodes, right? And that's probably what they wanted to do anyway. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments below, because great fight. I mean, like I said, the graphics department just went off and they did a superb job on this one. And I definitely want to see more of it in the coming episodes. But man, like I said, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to be subscribed, because we'll definitely, man, there's so much to go over on this anime alone, let alone the other ones that's coming in the future. So love to see you guys around more. Thanks for being here. You guys be safe, take care, and Lord willing, I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.